Hello, second graders, and happy Wednesday. I am hopping on here today to introduce symmetry and geometry to you all. So that is included in your phase 3 last week of math learning. And so I'm just going to go over that real quick and introduce it to you because we didn't have time to get to it when we were together in the classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with symmetry. So I have my handy dandy study guide right here, and we're going to go over it. So a figure is symmetric along a line when one half of the figure is the mirror image of the other half. Mirror image is just a fancy way of saying that it looks the exact same on the other side. So we can see that if we folded this heart along its line of symmetry, it would look the exact same on the other side. So think about a mirror image just when you look in the mirror and you look the exact same as you do right now. So a mirror image is going to look the exact same. So some shapes have more than one line of symmetry. So the heart has one. You see the triangle over here has 3. Circles have tons. So you have to be able to draw a line of symmetry in the second grade. But we also have to determine if shapes have a line of symmetry, if they are a symmetric shape. So down here, these shapes have at least one line of symmetry. I can cut the ladybug down the middle, the bat, and the tree. But over here, these shapes don't have any lines of symmetry if we look at them. You can't find a line of symmetry for the camel, the arrow, or the shoe. So you need to be able to identify what shapes have a line of symmetry and what shapes do not. So you will have to use those skills next year as well. So be able to determine a line of symmetry and decide if a shape has a line of symmetry or not. So the next thing we're going to talk about is geometry and the shapes that we learn about in second grade. Before we do that, I want to go over some of the vocabulary very quickly. So we have angles, and an angle is where two rays that share an endpoint. So angles, you can have a 90-degree angle, an acute angle, or an obtuse angle, which is greater than 90 degrees. That's something you'll learn in 3rd grade and 4th grade, but it was just quickly introduced. So it's where two lines meet to form an angle, two rays. Then we have a side. A side is a line or surface forming a border or face of an object. So all of our 2D shapes are going to have sides. Then we have a vertex. That is a point where two or more line segments, lines, or rays meet to form an angle. So that little point where two lines, rays meet, we call that a vertex. Then we have a base. A base is that special face of a solid figure that it sits on. Then we have a face. A face is a polygon or shape that serves as one side of a solid figure. So it's one side of a solid 3-dimensional figure. Then we have an edge. An edge is a line segment where two faces of a solid object intersect. So where those two faces meet, we have an edge. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to introduce some of the 2D shapes to us. So we have a circle. A circle has 0 angles, 0 sides, and 0 vertexes. There's no point there, but it has tons of lines of symmetry. Then we have a triangle. A triangle has 1, 2, 3 angles, 3 sides, and 3 vertexes, 3 points where those lines or those sides meet. A square has 4 angles, so does a rectangle. They're pretty similar. Both a square and a rectangle have 4 sides, but on a square, they are all equal sides. And then they each have 4 vertexes where those sides or those lines meet. Now it's time to talk about some of our 3-dimensional solid figures. So the first one I have for you, I went on a scavenger hunt around my house, is a spear. I found an orange to represent my spear here. So a spear does not have any faces. It doesn't have any polygon that serves as one side of a solid figure. It doesn't have any edges where those two faces meet, and it doesn't have any angles or any vertexes or points. So it has no faces, no edges, no angles, and no vertexes. The next one I have for you is a cube. So a cube is made of all squares, and it has 6 faces. So it has 6 flat polygon surfaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it has 6 faces, 6 flat surfaces on this 3-dimensional shape. It has 12 edges where those 2 faces meet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 faces where those, or 12 edges where those faces meet. And it has 24 angles. I'm not going to count all of those out for you. And then it has 8 vertexes where those 2 line segments or rays or lines or whatever meet at a point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it has 8 vertexes. So this is a cube and it is made of squares. It has 6 faces, it has 12 edges, and it has 8 vertexes. So this is a cube. The next and final shape I have for you, this solid figure, is a rectangular prism. So this isn't the most perfect rectangular prism. Usually a rectangular prism has squares on the side, but unfortunately I was limited with what I have at home, so we're just going to use this as our example. So this rectangular prism has 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And those are those flat surfaces making up the solid figure. It has 12 edges as well. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It has 12 edges where 2 faces meet together. And then it has 8 vertexes, just like the sphere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And those vertexes are the point where 2 line segments, rays, meet at a point. So that was just a quick review of geometry. This video is a little bit longer than I intended, but please be on the lookout for shapes around you and using your geometry every day. It's so fun to count faces, vertexes, edges on 3-dimensional shapes all around you, because it's so cool that shapes and solid figures are all around us. So keep rocking it out, my friends. I love you so much, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Bye, guys.